The Neuroclassroom concept will literally allow us to bring neuropedagogy to life. What is a neuroclassroom? Here we have a normal classroom in a school. We have a teacher who is teaching a class in the traditional way. We have selected 9 students to make the neuroclassroom more easily visible. We have 2 boys, an Arab girl, a Chinese girl, 2 Spanish girls, a girl with Down syndrome, a dyslexic girl, and a deaf boy, and finally the sign language interpreter. We can say that this class is diverse, there is diversity. But do we understand what diversity really is? Or do we reduce it to nationality, skin color, disability, etc.? We understand that this is not correct. Diversity cannot be understood by having a nationality, a disability, or a skin color. We talk about neurodiversity. Let's see what neurodiversity implies, that is, let's see neuroclassroom. Now, there is no skin color or nationality or disability. We have 9 brains that function in a singular and specific way, in addition to the teacher's brain, and the brain of the sign language interpreter, which we cannot forget. From this vision of the classroom, things have changed. Now we have brains that function according to their singularities, and not because they belong to an ethnic group, race, or disability. At this point, neuropedagogy begins to make sense. The teacher must be trained in neuropedagogy, which allows her to understand what kind of brains she has in her classroom, what potential these brains have, and how to adapt her methodology to obtain the best possible results from her students. In other words, there is no one-size-fits-all methodology for all students, because they are diverse, and this is contradictory. In this particular class, the boys process information with the left hemisphere preferably, the girls use both hemispheres. The Arab girl is emotionally very active, she does not understand the language well as the Chinese girl. The girl with Down syndrome is perceiving everything but understanding little of the teacher's speech. The dyslexic girl is understanding the girl's speech but not the reading of the text. And finally, the deaf child is understanding the interpretation of the language and observing the interpreter and the teacher, an excessive expenditure of brain energy. Moreover, the teacher is using the left hemisphere to teach the lesson, but she is using both occipital hemispheres, because she is observing and perceiving her students to give feedback to her activity, as a good teacher she is being. Now diversity has become very complex, hasn't it? It is not so easy to talk about diversity after what has been said so far. This is the beginning of our research on Neuroclassroom. With Dr. Antonio Hernandez and Dr. Claudia de Barros, we are preparing the phases that will define a Neuroclassroom. We are advancing the first one. Phase 1 – Neurodigital Contextualization, which consists of establishing the cerebral context of our classroom through neuroimaging. We are sure that neuropedagogy will now become more scientific in its theory and practice, remembering that from our research team, we do not talk about neuro, we do neuro. Kind regards from Brazil and Spain.